I just wanted to share with you this truth. True self-love. Many of us in this day and age, we always hear the word love yourself, self-love. Those are all, good things. But Christ wants to introduce you to your real self, to your true self. Before the foundations of the world, God made you. You had a conversation with God before you came to this earth. You had an agreement with God before you came to this earth. That is why you have a purpose. So when God talks about denying self, He's telling you to deny your infatuation with your cultural, political, and oftentimes your religious self. Because those things, they don't really know God. They have a form of godliness, but it doesn't really speak to who we truly are. So when you hear the word Jesus and the way it's been taught by many, you feel condemned. No. What feels condemned is your ego, is your pride, is our lust, is all of those things that feel condemned, because the true self that God breathed into us does not feel condemned. That's who Christ wants to connect you with. The true self that goes beyond your culture, your politics, and religion. Because anytime your culture, your politics, or religion comes against your true self, if you're not careful, you will crucify it. You would abandon it and be infatuated and be enamored by your cultural, political, and religious self. The real you is more than physical. That's who Christ is talking about. So denying self is an understanding that you know who you really, really are beyond just the surface. So don't feel condemned when you hear people talking about denying self. Maybe the way they talk about it, or the way they break it down for you makes you feel like, oh, he's telling me to completely deny yourself. No, he's telling you to awaken to your true self, to your inner self that was not created by man. Culture was created by man. Politics by man. Religion by man. But the inner you is what Christ is talking about. I'll give you an example. How many people do you think will go to a fisherman and transform him into a worldwide leader? Peter would have spent all of his life thinking that his whole job was to provide for his family and just be a fisherman. But Christ awakened him to his true self. When he denied Christ, that was his fake self. That was his, fake identity. That was a part of who he has spent all his life thinking, this is who I am. That's what makes God beautiful. Because when you connect with Jesus Christ, every word he speaks to your true self. When you feel condemned, that is your fake self. That's why he said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. It is the flesh that feels condemned, because you are not your flesh. And it's not so much that your flesh feels condemned, it's like your flesh gets scared. Why? Because the flesh knows that it cannot last as long as the spirit or the soul. So when you feel your body getting weak because of what you're hearing about transformation, about rising above your culture and politics and religion, when your flesh gets threatened, reminded that when as my spirit grows from glory to glory to glory, the flesh is quickened. So understand the beauty of Jesus Christ is about awakening you to your true self, awakening you to a true self-love, not the superficial self-love we all have. God wants to awaken you to the part of you that doesn't have anything to prove to nobody, that has a strong connection with God. That's your true self. That is your true self. The savage you is the man-made self, because you're trying to survive. I understand that, because everybody wants to be a savage. But your true self has no desire to be a savage. Because your true self is empowered by the sovereign God. It has nothing to prove to nobody. So when you hear about the stories of Jesus Christ walking confidently into places, it's because he was awakened to his true self.